The Jojo Siwa situation just got diabolical. So if you guys aren't aware of what's been going on with Jojo Siwa, she released a music video a few months ago for her song Karma. Now this song would be received pretty poorly from pretty much the entire internet, as Jojo Siwa was known to mainly cater towards kids with her brand, and posting a provocative music video like this probably wasn't the best overall idea, since just a couple weeks prior to this song actually coming out, she was selling out tours all around the United States with her music mainly targeted towards little kids. Therefore, she was essentially promoting this very provocative behavior to her kid audience, which obviously a lot of people would not agree with. And more recently, she's even been featured on the Talk Tuah podcast, one of the most highly rated podcasts as of recently, especially when paired with Lunchly and the song Thick of It by KSI. However, over the past few months, she's also been on a bunch of other podcasts talking about her new music and overall new badass persona that she's trying to show everyone that she has. However, despite that, pretty much the entire internet isn't taking it seriously, because to be fair, she was just terrible at executing this.
I was put on this earth to entertain, and I feel like when I get to do that, that is when I feel most satisfied. Whether the world likes it or not, they are entertained by me, for sure. You know what I mean? And that could be a good entertain or a bad entertain.
However, it would get even worse with her TikToks, as she would post many of them trying to promote her quote-unquote unhinged takes, doing things like calling herself a literal psychopath live on stage in front of an audience, and much more. And it was less badass and more just cringe.
Last few weeks, the internet has definitely made me feel like I'm a fucking psychopath. But then I realized something. No. I realized something. I am a fucking psychopath. And this is some shit that only I can do.
I mean, calling yourself a psychopath is pretty unhinged, but yeah, it's almost like she's trying too hard to play this bad girl persona, and she's really just not too good at it. I mean, people would record absolute silence at JoJo's shows whenever she would be giving speeches that were meant to amp up the audience.
Write your own songs! That's not even you singing! That Evelyn song is amazing! And you know what I said to those fuckers? I tell them to hold the motherfucking drama!
Yeah, if this is what she's trying to consider entertainment, I don't think she's doing a very good job. And even during interviews, she thought that she was cool for saying that someone she would like to have on her podcast is her ex-girlfriend. And don't even get me started on what's going on with her voice in this clip. It sounds like she smokes about 12 or so packs a day.
Dream guest on my podcast? Oh my gosh. I mean, honestly, let's spice things up. One of my exes. Oh?
I'm just gonna be honest, her voice really makes me mad. I just feel like she's definitely trying harder to make it sound like that, when naturally it doesn't actually sound like that. I mean, we can hear her real voice in a bunch of different podcasts that she's been doing, and she would start saying things which she would most likely end up regretting, as they basically contradicted what she stands for. Like I said, she was trying to promote herself like a rebellious teenager, which is far different from how the internet perceived her a few months ago.
I started doing music, and honestly, we started off like pretty calm, like nothing like what's out right now. And then I got pitched this song, Karma, and its first word is I was a bad girl, and I was like, oh fuck, it's a good song. I was like, but I can't say that. I can't say I'm a bad girl. I'm not. I was 18, fresh off of my Dream the Tour, and I was like, I can't say I sang Every Girl's a Super Girl last week. Like, I can't sing I was a bad girl this week. It doesn't work. So then I was like, but like, I love the song, so let's try it.
In nearly every single one of the clips that I showed earlier, she was calling herself a psychopath, wearing insane clothing, and overall just trying to act like a bad girl, when literally in this clip, she basically contradicted all of that. If you're gonna make a claim like you're a badass, then you at least have to stand on it. Why are your fans actually gonna think you're a badass when you don't believe it yourself? JoJo would also be in a photo shoot, which, you know, would have some pretty suggestive themes. I'm sure most of you can understand what I'm talking about just from looking at this picture, but yeah, the internet was kind of going crazy after this picture came out, with most people talking about their concerns with her, you know, having a kid fan base and exposing them to extremely provocative pictures, which most of them probably don't want to see. Not to mention that their parents probably wouldn't be too pleased if their kids were looking at this type of content. She would even talk about this picture in the Talk Tuah podcast, where she seemed to not even consider the fact that there were kids that might have seen it.
Oh, the Lady Gun photo
magazine
shoot?
cover shoot.
Yes.
I bet that was fun, wasn't it? It was definitely something I've never seen before. Like the bulge? Dude, where the fuck did you get
get that.
The stone bulge. The stone bulge is. You're like, oh, she's got a dick.
No, it was
Nah,
very
she-
iconic though.
She doesn't. We were just given a little spice, a little gender bend, a little. You can be anything you want to be. A little.
You're damn right.
You know, it's just kind of spice it up a little. It's kind of like back in the day when Harry Styles wore a dress. Obviously, wearing a bulge is a little different than wearing just a dress, but
You stuck out. I think you should do more of that though.
So yeah, they obviously wouldn't really talk about the potential of kids seeing this picture in the podcast. However, some of the replies to the initial tweet speak for themselves. And I'm not trying to say she should never be able to switch her content from the kid stuff she was making prior. However, just focus less on this extremely rebellious, badass type persona and focus more on a more professional career. And especially with how the internet is now, where kids can literally look at anything they want, she should definitely be a little bit more careful with, you know, the kind of stuff she posts on the internet, because right now she's trying to compare this switch to Miley Cyrus, who at about the same age as JoJo would switch from her child star persona in shows like Hannah Montana to making these extremely provocative songs, doing crazy things on stage at her concerts, and just everything else. However, the issue is now kids have access to basically viewing everything about a certain person. Like whenever Miley had this moment, it was really hard for kids to, you know, find content online, but now it's not. By a kid simply looking up Jojo Siwa on YouTube, they can find essentially all of JoJo's provocative stuff that she's been promoting, making all this explicit content easily accessible to pretty much everyone of all ages. However, there have also been people who have turned their child persona into something more adult-friendly in a more respectful way. Someone who's really good to look at is Olivia Rodrigo, who used to be in many Disney Channel shows and have a kid audience, and since created an extremely successful music career with billions of plays on numerous of her songs. You think that eventually Jojo Siwa may make the realization that what she's doing is a little bit wrong, but she actually doesn't, and she decides to double down on it by continuing to promote this picture despite the negative impact it could have on her fans. You might think that this is as bad as it could get for Jojo Siwa, but you'd be wrong, because she would also get exposed for allegedly stealing music from other artists, as most of the songs were actually wrote years and years prior and pitched to other artists. However, the songs were never actually used. She would get confronted about this by TMZ, in which she would say something that she probably shouldn't have.
Background on Karma, honestly, it's an old song. I was pitched it. I loved it, was obsessed with it, so I grasped onto it.
Why not that instead of a new song?
No, that's a very normal thing. A lot of songs are
Okay.
What happens is people write songs and then they just don't do anything with them. And then a few years later, it makes more sense for another artist. I just knew that that song was a special song. I knew it was a work of art, and I knew that it fit. It fit exactly the vision that I wanted to create for the world.
Was it originally Miley's?
I don't know.
You don't know. You do know.
Don't know.
You don't know?
Don't know.
Did you steal it from Britt Smith?
I did not steal anything.
Now, this song was wrote for many artists in the past, including Britt Smith. Now, Britt's version of the song would never actually be released. However, that was until this entire controversy would begin, in which she actually decided to release the song fully, and it would go mega viral, ranking even higher than JoJo's version of the song, and peaking at number 5 on the iTunes top charts. Now, the reason for Britt's song outperforming JoJo's was due to a bunch of people that didn't like JoJo's version either buying or playing Britt's version a ton of times to try and boost it on the charts and outperform JoJo's. And despite JoJo not really speaking on the situation, this most likely didn't make her very happy, and this would make Britt Smith feel the need to respond to the entire situation, confirming that JoJo didn't copy her song.
I am here to set the record straight once and for all. JoJo did not steal my song. There's been a lot of talk and a lot of comments, and they just keep going and going and going, and so I just thought, let me just come on here and hopefully put an end to this. She was totally in the right to record her version. So I just want to make it clear that JoJo has done nothing wrong to me.
So after Britt would post this TikTok, the drama would essentially be over. However, people would still remember the fact in the back of their minds that likely most of JoJo's songs aren't written by her and instead written by ghostwriters. But to be fair, she has described herself as more of a performer instead of a singer, which I guess makes the situation a little bit better for her.
Like I said, I will never ever claim to be a singer.
Yeah.
But I will claim to be an artist.
Okay.
I am giving the world art, and they might not like it, they might hate it, but they're enjoying it. And it's become a bit of a guilty pleasure for everyone.
So when you're sitting with your team and you're sitting in bed and you're reading these comments, like, it doesn't affect you at all?
It does because with Karma I'm so proud of, and I think the music video really does more justice than the song. And once they're together, it is it is a work of art. It is sickening, and it is the full 180 moment that I have always wanted.
So it was clear after this point that JoJo wasn't going to listen to anyone else, and essentially just do whatever she wants on social media and also with her music. She would eventually hop on the Talk Tuah podcast, and on it, she would say some pretty outlandish things, so let's go ahead and take a look at it. Also, please like and subscribe. I just watched this whole fucking podcast.
You had me and my whole friend group when you come out with Karma, like walking around the house just fucking singing it.
Singing it around.
It's so catchy, it like sticks in the back of your brain and it will
I'll
not
take
get
it.
out.
I'll take
I was
it.
like, I was like, get
Thank
JoJo
you.
out.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be real. You and your friends are probably the only people who listen to this song. Because yeah, sure, all of us did hear it one way or another, but was it out of our own free will? Probably not. And I now feel like I'm negative in brain cells.
I have big dick energy.
Yeah, okay, shit.
Like I do. Like I walk into a room and it's like, I have it. Yeah. It's undeniable. People have tried to be like, no, you don't. No, I do. Like
You got big dick energy,
I don't-
I will say.
Thank you. Like it's not a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It's just a thing.
Let's be honest, guys, are we really surprised about any of this? I mean, to be fair, she is a self-proclaimed psychopath.
I'm a fucking psychopath.
Oh my god, this is so bad. I spent like 60 grand in one weekend on this girl just to get laid, and it didn't work. No, you didn't know this? Yes, you did. It was right after Dancing with the Stars. You know who it was with. And you said I'm stupid.
After Dancing with the Stars, like
Yeah, I
after
did
like
it
an episode or like
after the season, so it was right
Okay.
after me and my best friend met.
Bro, spending 60K in a weekend is absolutely insane. To literally most of the world, I mean, that's a pretty good yearly salary. But to be fair, Jojo Siwa's apparently worth over 400 million. Yeah, I said that right, 400 million. Due to her many companies that she owns, including the bow companies, which were extremely popular. So, I mean, it's not a surprise, but dang, 60K in one weekend.
I didn't realize that's what I wanted, but I literally was just horny. Like, I thought I was just trying to have a girlfriend. Nope, I was just horny.
How old are you?
okay.
18.
Yeah, that's that. Yeah.
Yeah, I was a fetus. Yeah. 4 nights in a
Did you
hotel.
end up getting laid?
Nope.
What? Fuck. And you still didn't get fucking laid?
Still didn't get laid.
Damn, she spent 60K and still didn't get it. That's crazy. I don't even know what I would do in that situation.
Never sucked a dick before. Wouldn't even know where to begin.
I feel like you could do it.
Oh, I could for sure.
I feel like you could do it.
Will I? No.
JoJo, what the pitbull jaws?
But so you go viral right off of saying this thing. Is it really like it's really a thing you do?
Now, if I do not give a fuck about this dude and I'm just in it for like, you know, the hit and run, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, no problem. You know?
And you just suck the dick and go.
Yeah.
Like, bro, what am I even watching at this point? This entire podcast has just been a roller coaster of emotions. And I've heard things that I wish I never had to know about. I mean, I feel like I've just been through a battlefield of women. And even though she really didn't talk much about, you know, the controversies that she's been in over these past few months, it kind of gave us like psychological insight that she's not going to change what she's doing at all. She's going to stick to what she's doing if we like it or not. Which, I mean, I do want to say good for her to an extent. However, I do want to again mention that she also now has a responsibility to all her kid fans to, you know, make sure that they're not being exposed to this extremely provocative content. Another thing is that JoJo just completely switched out of nowhere. It wasn't like an incremental change that, you know, she did over a few years. This was a matter of a couple weeks. Going from being a child star performing songs about, you know, girl power and all that, to making extremely suggestive music videos, doing things like swearing in her music, extremely sexual dances, and so on. I would never wish the downfall on anyone. I definitely don't wish the downfall on JoJo. However, I don't understand how she thinks that this is 100% okay, especially with the world of social media that we live in today, and the amount of kids that look up to her.
I mean, look, everything with my childhood wasn't normal. Like, I was working as an 18-year-old when I was 9, and not even an 18-year-old, 20-something-year-old when I was 9, and it like, I was in charge of 60 people on a world tour when I was 15. Like, that's not normal. Like, a 15-year-old isn't supposed to be 60 people's boss, you know what I mean? And so I've definitely had a very different childhood. Something that's like a little wrong that happened when I was a kid. There's so much shit, but there's nothing, you know what I mean? It's like, there's not one big like, this happened to me, which I'm lucky about, because I think a lot of child stars that actually is the case, where they're like, this happened and I'm fucked up because of this, you know what I mean? But I I didn't really have that. I had a good family around me, and I always had older friends.
This is one thing that I also wanted to include, because a lot of child stars, including Justin Bieber, went through a lot whenever, you know, he became famous. And all jokes aside, it is good to know that JoJo didn't go through anything super traumatic and anything that ruined her life, and that she had a good support system. Because we know that that doesn't always happen, especially in the Hollywood lifestyle. But yeah, anyways, I wanted to basically just go over all of the Jojo Siwa drama, or at least all of it that I actually cared about, because the last video I made on Jojo Siwa, you guys seem to really enjoy, and I'm trying to make my videos a lot longer, near 20 minutes for pretty much every single video. So expect longer videos from now on, at least most of them. If something, you know, huge happens that I have to make a video on real quick, I will do that. But expect more in-depth videos with a lot more interviews and stuff like this. Anyways, thank you all for watching today's video. Do be sure to like, because I just watched pretty much that entire fucking podcast. And yeah, I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out.